Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk warns that war in Europe is a real threat. Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant says that Israel will extend campaign against Hezbollah. Pope Francis skips Good Friday event for second year in a row over health concerns. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has issued a stark warning about Ukraine's victory against Russia. Speaking in an interview, he said that Europe had entered its pre-war era and that war was a real threat to the continent. His comments come days after he met with his Ukrainian counterpart in Warsaw, where they discussed solutions to Ukrainian imports that are the subject of farmers' anger across Europe. Poland is one of Ukraine's staunchest allies, and Tusk has repeatedly called for more weapons to be sent to the war-torn country. Russia has launched huge attacks across Ukraine's infrastructure in recent days, with one attack in the Kamyanska region leaving the city without power. Ukraine has retaliated with another strike on the Russian city of Belgorod, where one person was killed following strikes on Friday. Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said that Israel plans to expand its strikes north following an attack in Syria. Speaking after an assessment at the IDF Northern Command, Gallant said the IDF would ramp up attacks against Hezbollah. He threatened that strikes could reach as far as Beirut. At least 40 people were killed in an IDF strike in Syria, where 6 Hezbollah fighters were reportedly killed. Meanwhile, talks have resumed aimed at bringing Israeli officials to Washington to discuss Israel's military campaign and the planned offensive in Rafah. Netanyahu previously cancelled discussions due to the US voting in favor of a ceasefire in Gaza. Israel has killed over 32 Palestinians, with around 2/3 of them women and children, according to Gaza's health ministry. Dutch police have detained a man who held hostages in a nightclub in the Dutch city of Ede for hours. The man walked out of the club after a tense, hours-long standoff with the police. 3 people who were held hostage were released. The scene occurred at Café Petticoat, a popular bar and nightclub in the town that is southeast of Amsterdam. Police have said that shops in the centre of town would remain closed as trains have been cancelled. Police in the Netherlands have also said that so far there is no indication of a terrorist motive. 9 people have been detained in Tajikistan in connection with the deadly shooting in a Moscow concert hall. According to Russian state media RIA Novosti, the 4 arrested attackers were confirmed as Tajik nationals. The detentions come a week after the attack on the Crocus concert hall that killed 144 people, making it the worst terror attack in Russia in decades. Although the Islamic State have claimed responsibility, the Kremlin insists that Ukraine and the West had a role. Pope Francis has skipped the traditional Good Friday procession for the second year in a row, citing health reasons. Francis had been expected to preside over the Way of the Cross procession, but announced he would pray from his residence last minute. The Vatican's press office said that this decision was made to preserve his health. The Pope, who also skipped the event in 2023, has been battling what the Vatican described as a flu for several weeks. He has asked an aide to repeatedly read his speeches for him. As Good Friday is celebrated around the world, Holy Week in Gaza is significantly toned down. Churches in Gaza are acting as shelters for the displaced, with one serving around 600 people who have lost their homes.